Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 4, Śrīmad-Bhagavad-gītā, text, chapter 4, text 9. Janma karma cha me dhivyam evam yo vedi tattvataha tyakva deham punarjanma naiti mameti surjuna. Janma, birth, karma, work, cha, also, me, of mind, divyam, transcendental, evam, like this, yaha, anyone who veti, knows, tattvataha, in reality, tyakva, leaving aside, deham, this body, punaha, again, janma, birth, na, never, eti, thus attain, mam, unto me, eti, thus attain, saha, he, Arjuna, O Arjuna. Translation purport by His Divine Grace H.D. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. Please repeat. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. Purport. The Lord's descent from his transcendental abode is already explained in the 6th verse. One who can understand the truth of the appearance of the personality of Godhead is already liberated from material bondage, and therefore he returns to the kingdom of God immediately. After quitting this present material body, such liberation of living entity from material bondage is not at all easy. The impersonalists and the yogis attain liberation only after much trouble and many births. Even then, the liberation they achieve merging into the impersonal Brahmajyoti of the Lord is only partial, and there is risk of returning to the material world. But the devotee, simply by understanding the transcendental nature of the body and activities of the Lord, attains the abode of the Lord by after ending in this body and does not run the risk of returning to this material world. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that the Lord has many forms, incarnation, Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Ananta Rupam. Although there are many transcendental forms of the Lord, they are still one and the same Supreme Personality of Godhead. One has to understand this fact with conviction, although it is incomprehensible to mundane scholars and empiric philosophers, as stated in the Vedas, Purusha Bodhani Upanishad, Eko Deviro Nitya, Leela Nurakto, Bhaktya Vyapyi Hridi Antaratma. The one Supreme Personality of Godhead is eternally engaged in many transcendental forms in relationship with his unallied devotees. His Vedic version is confirmed in this verse of the Gita personally by the Lord. Those who accept this truth on the strength of authority of the Vedas and the Supreme Personal Godhead, and who does not waste time in philosophical speculation, attains the highest perfection of liberation. Simply by accepting this truth on faith, one can without a doubt attain liberation. The Vedic version Tattvamasi is actually applied in this case. Anyone who understands Lord Krishna to be the Supreme and who says unto the Lord, you are the same Supreme Brahman, the personality Godhead, is certainly liberated instantly, and consequently his entrance into the transcendental association of the Lord is guaranteed. In other words, such faithful devotee of the Lord attains perfection, and this is confirmed by the following Vedic assertion: Tam eva viditvati mrityumeti nanyaha panta vidyate yanaya. One can attain the perfect stage of liberation from birth and death simply by knowing the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and there is no other way of achieving this perfection. Svetavatsara Upanishad 3.8. There is no alternative means that anyone who does not understand Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead is surely in the mode of ignorance, and consequently he will not attain salvation simply, so to speak, by licking the outer surface of the bottle of honey. or by interpreting the Bhagavad-gītā according to mundane scholarship. Such empiric philosophers may assume very important roles in the material world, but they are not necessarily eligible for liberation. Such puffed up mundane scholars have to wait for the costless mercy of the Lord, of the devotees of the Lord. One should therefore cultivate Krishna consciousness with faith and knowledge, and in this way attain perfection. So we'll read the translation again. It's one of the most important verses of the Bhagavad-gītā. And Janma karma chhame divyam evam yogeti tatpataha tyakva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sarjana. So Krishna says, one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not upon leaving the body take his birth again in material world, but attains my eternal abode. So this is a very, people will be wondering, it's so easy to get liberation just by knowing Krishna. So everybody takes birth, right? Everyone here took birth. We were all in the womb of our mother for 9 months, trapped, squeezed so much, tight, And when we came out, did we come out laughing? We all crying. Because the pain in the womb, suffered in the womb, is unbearable. It said that in the scriptures, in the Bhagavatam, it said the child gets consciousness at 7 months. So at 7 months, he starts to understand he's in a very terrible situation. And he somehow, if he has some piety from previous lives, he'll remember his past lives. Krishna will give the knowledge of remembrance. And he will cry to the Lord and says, please, when I come out, actually he doesn't pray like that. You know what he says? He said, don't let me come out now. Actually in ancient Europe, not ancient, let's say 1,000 years ago, they used to have a lot of crazy torture methods. There's one video which is ranking the different ways of torturing the people. They are very brutal. Actually, we are lucky we are now in this time. If imagine we were just 500, 600 years ago, how many wars were going on, how much killing, rapes, murders, looting. India was subjugated for 800 years, right? Under the British, Mughals. So a lot of torture was going on. And among all the tortures that is given, the most torturing of all tortures is putting you in a cell which is so small that you cannot sit down, neither can you stand up straight. Can you imagine? That means your back is touching something. Your knees are already touching the wall forward. You cannot even stand straight, you cannot even sit down. You are and they keep you like that for days in complete darkness. Now there are many other torture methods. You will die maybe after a few hours. But people prefer that method to this one. Nobody wants to be trapped in that cell. If you go to the castle, we are all going to Europe, to see the castles. Like some holiday. How many people died inside this castle? How many people were tortured inside this? So this punishment is so terrible because you won't die fast. Slow death. And if there is complete darkness and nobody to speak to, you become crazy. We all need human interaction, right? After a while, you will feel, you get totally depressed. And the pain that you feel every second, you cannot sleep. You cannot even fall asleep, in that pain. So I think maybe the longest someone survived there was 8 days. And they died. And when they die there, the body will die there. They will leave the body there. The skeleton will be eaten by the rats. Then they'll put the next guy inside there. So you're trapped there with a dead body, skeletons, rats biting you. So this looks very scary, right? Actually, all of us were in this womb situation, worse than this. You understand? We are now very happy, happy birthday, we are celebrating. But the 9 months inside, you cannot understand the pain. We say that if you put a normal human being in that situation right now, within less than 15 seconds, you will die. That's how the pressure is. And same time, the Atma in the womb is saying, what he's saying? Oh my Lord Krishna, you please don't let me come out. Why? Because if I come out, punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jatare shayanam. Because when I come out, I'll forget you. Once I forget you, I have to take birth again and again, go into another womb, go into another womb, another womb, another womb. So you see, the pain of forgetting Krishna is even worse than being in the mother's womb. I mean, I'm not saying everybody prayed like that. Those who are very pious souls, they can understand this. But the point is, when the child is pushed out of the womb, the air, there are 6 kinds of air which squeezes the child and forces him out. And while he's being squeezed out, the pain is so unbearable, and everything that he prayed for, he'll forget everything. He loses memory. And then he takes shelter of a mother, father, he thinks this is my family. I am, so and so, I'm American, I'm Chinese, I'm Indian. Actually, the Atma is not Indian, Chinese, American, nothing. Then we are put in illusion, this is my family, this is my brother, that guy is my enemy. So like that, we are totally conditioned by our surroundings. The environment shapes our lives and our opinions and our perspective. Like that, we are trapped. And human life, if you waste that human life, again you have to born. You may not born as human next time. You can born as a cockroach also. You can born as a pig also. So much of suffering, this material world. So in order to save us, Krishna, in order to save us from not taking another birth, Krishna took birth. You see how merciful Supreme Lord is. He is coming. Like now we are in the jail cell. We are suffering in the jail. We do not even know there's an outside life. But somebody comes, the king comes and stays in the jail with you and advises you to come out. Any king will do that. But the Supreme Lord Krishna does that. Very merciful. He takes birth. So he said the unborn takes birth so that you will not have to born. And if you study, Krishna says you study my life and activities. Because we all have a tendency to study somebody's life, right? Everybody is a fan of someone, right? Somebody is a fan of cricket. Somebody is a fan of, today is a Euro, there's a final. Everybody will be switching on TV at 3 a.m. We cannot wake up at 3 a.m. for chanting our rounds. For 3 a.m. we can wake up for football. Because we are attached to the activities of somebody powerful. We admire someone who has beauty. There are 6 things, Aishwaryasya, Samagrasya, Veerasya, Yashasya, Shriya, Jnana Vairagayas, Shannamiti, I forgot the verse, but there are 6 qualities: beauty, strength, wisdom, renunciation, wealth, intelligence. Everybody is attracted to someone because somebody has more beauty. Somebody may have more intelligence. Somebody may have a lot of strength. So that attracts us. But why Krishna is called Krishna is because he has all these 6 qualities in complete. He is the all attractive one. Understand? Krishna means the most attractive, the all attractive. Krish means the shelter of all existence. Everything is existing on him. Now we cannot see the Lord, right? Of course, we see him in the deity form. Vyakta, Vyakta, Sanatana. Now we cannot see, okay, now let's say I'm sitting, what is holding my weight? This Vyasasan, right? What is holding this Vyasasan? The floor. What is holding this floor? The building. What is holding that building? The earth. Who is holding that building? Who is holding all these globes? Ananta Sej. By the power of Ananta Sej, the gravity is there. What is that? Verse 15. I think 15. Can you check about gravity? 15 something. So we cannot see. The Lord is holding. He is the shelter of everyone, and that is the meaning of Krish. And Na means Ananda, happiness. Na also means another name also. Krish means he is full of attraction. Akarshan. Akarshan means one who attracts. Madana Mohan, his name is Madana Mohan. He attracts. Everybody is attracted by who? Cupid. Cupid is Kamadev. Because of Kamadev, we are working, everything is going on Kama only. Right? But that Kamadev, his name is Madan, and that Kamadev is so beautiful, he attracts everyone. But that Kamadev, millions of Kamadev put together cannot compare to the beauty of Krishna. Even he is attracted to Krishna. So Krishna is that person, the most attractive person. He is the Supreme Lord. And if you learn about his life, his activities, his pastimes, his Leela, and then what he says, upon leaving this body, Nayati Mahameti so Arjuna, there is no more birth and death. Sounds very simple, no? But nobody will do it. Now, how many people are here now, right? He said the most highest things, the most topmost things is actually very easy to do. But we don't want to do. If you go to doctor, if the doctor says, no, don't worry, nothing is wrong with you, you just do some stretching. You just drink some lemon juice. You say, what kind of doctor? You're not giving me injection. Lousy. You don't know how to treat. We want difficult method. But actually, this method is so easy. In Kaluga, in Kaluga is the most easiest method. Kirtanadeva Krishnasya Mukta Sangam Param Vijay. By how to attain Mukti? By just chanting the glories of Krishna. By chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. By studying his pastimes, his Leela, and also repeating it to others. Where Kunti Devi is saying, she is here. Shrinvanti, Gayanti, Grananti, Abhikshanaha, Smaranti, Nandanti, Tavehitam Janaha, Taeva Pashyanti, Achirena, Tavakam, Bava Pavaho, Paramam, Padambujam. She says, O Krishna, those who continuously hear, chant, and repeat your transcendental activities, or take pleasure in others doing so, certainly sees your Lord's lotus feet, which is alone can stop the repetition of birth and death. So this is also another recommendation by Kunti Devi. You constantly hear, chant, and repeat his glories. Instead of you are anyway repeating the glories of someone, right? Repeating the glories of some Bollywood hero or some sports hero. Why not the supreme hero? Now there are a lot of fake heroes. Superman, Spider-Man, these are all not real. The Marvel heroes, $1 billion they are earning, It is not even real. People are watching this cinema and remembering the pastimes of Superman, Spider-Man. What will happen next life? You'll become Spider. Right? So much into Batman. In America, the most popular superhero is Batman and Spider-Man, two of them. You know why? Because very relatable. The Superman is very famous, yes, but he's not top. Because why people like Batman? I don't know what I'm talking in the class, but I'll bring to the point. Okay? Why people like Batman? Because Batman is like a normal human being who went through hardships in his life. He lost his parents, and then he's fighting crime. He is not somebody who cannot be touched. So people want to see that the hero is also vulnerable like them. But he is able to overcome the obstacles. The psychology is like that. So the relatability factor with Batman, Spider-Man is very human-like. So Krishna is smart. He already did this before, no? He said, okay, I will born as a child in Vrindavan, in a jail. I'll do all the childhood pastimes. People are so attracted to the relatability they can have with the Lord, right? So Krishna performed many, many human-like pastimes. Then people will say, oh, he is also like me, Wow. Of course, he's not like you. Then you realize, if you study about him, yes, he acted like us, one of us, Rama also, He acted like a human being. He's not human, he's Supreme Lord, He's Parabrahman. So he did all these things to attract you, I'm also, look at my life. I went to jail. When I'm trying to take some fresh air, what is coming? Tranavarta is coming. When I want to ride the horse, Keshi demon is coming. So many obstacles I'm going through, but I smash them. Right? So Krishna, he is a very expert director. He directed the Mahabharata. He directed the Ramayana. so that we can be watching this and we are attracted to Marvel story movies, right? But this is even greater than any Marvel movie you can imagine. So by being attracted to all these stories, hearing what Arjuna did, what Bhima did, what Yudhishthira, what his devotees, Krishna means not only himself, all his devotees are also there. How they defeated the people in the other mixed side. By remembering all these things. Bhishmadev, when he was going to leave his body, you know what he said? Let me remember Krishna, the form of Krishna. When the part where there was one part of the war, Bhishmadev was attacking Arjuna like anything. Bhishmadev said, if you want to protect Arjuna, you come and fight me. Bhishmadev challenged Krishna to break his promise. And Krishna broke the promise, right? To protect his devotee, Krishna broke his promise. Krishna took the chariot wheel and he was running like a tiger, And the wind was blowing on his face. The dust, everywhere dust is flying. And like a ferocious lion, he was charging towards Bhishma with the chariot wheel to finish him off. And Bhishmadev, that time he was shedding tears. Oh my Lord, he was, how great you are that you are breaking your promise to protect your devotee. How great you are. Let me die right now. Of course, Arjuna managed to stop Krishna. And Bhishmadev at the time of death, he prayed this. Bhishmadev, he said that oh my Lord, let me remember this form. What is that verse? 119, the Bhishmadev one, 1930, is it? Is it this one? No. Can you see the Bhishmadev prayer? That where he says that he want to remember the form of Krishna. 33, yeah. So you see here, Yesham samsmaranat pumsham sadhya, correct, this was right. Sutyanti vaigraha kim punar darshana sparsha pada saucha sanadhibhi. No, not this one. It's a... Anyway, let them find. So basically what I'm trying to say, Bhishmadev, great general, he was praying to the Lord. People say Bhishmadev waited for Uttarayana. 32. Sorry, 19 actually, not 119. So we see here, he says, Bhishmadev said, let me now invest my thinking, feeling and willing, which are so engaged in different subjects and occupational duties, in the all-powerful Lord Sri Krishna. He's always self-satisfied, but sometimes being a leader of the devotees, he enjoys transcendental pleasure by descending to the material world, although it is from him only the material world is created. So you see, he's saying, firstly, let me focus on this. So this is the perfection of life. At the time of death, if you can remember Krishna, the form of Krishna, any form can be. Maybe when Mother Yashoda tying him, maybe he's stealing the butter, or maybe he's riding the chariot, stealing away Rukmini. So many things Krishna created for us to remember, right? He said he's in a Chitta Hari Vamsidhari. It said he is stealing butter in Vrindavan, no? Of the gopis. And by reading the story of his stealing, our hearts get stolen. Our sins get stolen. What is actually what is something very abundant in us? What we have a lot. What do you think? Something I can give very easily. Even I've got $0 also I can give you. Any answer? Everybody has this in abundance, like anything, like mountains and mountains and mountains. Papa. We have accumulated million lifetimes. We have sins bigger than Everest also. So much we have collected. But that Lord, the Supreme Lord Krishna, he comes and steals it away. Narayana Nama Naro Naranam Prashita Chauram Katitam Prativyam. By chanting the name of Narayana, Krishna, Rama, Prashita Chauram, he is the most topmost thief. Among all the thieves, he is the best. And what does he steal? Aneka Janmarchita Papa Sanchayam. Many lifetime of Janma, I am collecting the sins. Hritva Sesham Shrut Mata Eva. Without any balance, he takes every zero, no balance. So how that this thing can happen? If we chant only, if we study about his life, every time we spend our time, invest the time to study about him, read about him, chant about him. Like how Bhishma Dev is saying, we will get all these things taken away from us. And when Papa, the sin is gone, then we will be really in a blissful position. We will be really happy. Everybody is searching for happiness, right? Real happiness comes when we can connect with Krishna. Because of disconnection, we are not happy. Like a child, you can take the child and so many people can be carrying. He'll be crying until he connects to the mother. Then he'll stop crying because he knows who is the mother. Similarly, we are now lost in the lap of the Maya. We have to go back to our Supreme Mother and Father, Krishna and Radha. So Krishna, so again here you see Bhishma Dev saying, he is always self-satisfied, but sometimes being the leader of devotees, he enjoys transcendental pleasure by descending to the material world. So he is not descending like us. We are forced to take birth because of karma. But Krishna says, Janma karma chame divyam. My karma is, I am not touched by karma. But I still work. Even though I have no karma. Is it 3.5 Bhagavad-gītā? Sorry, 4.14. Yeah. Namam karmani limpante. Name karma phale spriha. Itimam yo vijanati karma birna sa sabhadyate. There is no work that affects me. So karma don't affect Krishna. Nor do I expect for the fruits of the action. So everybody, we are working. Why? Because we want to enjoy the fruits of our labor. Krishna is not interested. Even after defeating all the Kauravas, he was not interested. He told Yudhishthira, you carry on, I'm going. Okay, I'm going to see my family. He's not interested. And we are getting entangled, why? Because we want to enjoy the fruits of our actions. We perform karma and we say, I am the doer of the karma. Oh, okay, then you have to experience the karma next life then. But if you say, I'm not the doer, I'm doing on behalf of Krishna, I'm offering my fruits of karma to Krishna, then that is coming to the karma yoga. So when you understand, say one who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in fruitive reaction. So if you understand Krishna is not entangled in karma, some people will say, oh, even Krishna, he was caught in karma. He was cursed by Gandhari. Krishna cannot escape the curse. He was shot by the hunter. Because last life as Ram, he shot Bali. But actually, no such thing. Krishna is not entangled in any karma. Actually, the hunter is not Bali. Hunter is, who? Bhrigu Muni. Bhrigu Muni, in one of the pastimes, Bhrigu Muni went and kicked the chest of Narayana. So Bhrigu Muni committed sin by kicking Narayana because Lakshmi Devi is sitting in the chest. So he fell down, he became hunter. So Krishna is thinking, how I can save this person, Bhrigu Muni, who's a hunter now. Okay, let him serve me by shooting my lotus feet. Let him come and touch my lotus feet by shooting it. See how he took service even by shooting arrows. Bhishma Dev was shooting arrows. He was accepting it as garland. So it's the devotion, bhakti. With bhakti only you can capture Krishna. There is no other way, no other method than loving devotional service. Without bhakti, you cannot approach Krishna. So this is where people misunderstand. Oh, Krishna is... So Krishna, you must understand, he made Gandhari curse him because he wanted to close the pastimes. He wanted, okay, 36 years I'll be here. All the devatas who came, go back to their position. So and who can kill the Yadavas? Anybody can kill. It's Krishna's family, So let them kill each other. Let us kill each other. We thinking killing is a big thing, Oh, how come they're killing bloody? We are already changing body. And when you die, we are just changing our shirt only. It's actually no big deal dying. We are very much afraid of death, but actually there's no big deal in dying. If you know where your next destination is, you won't be scared of dying, right? Like Prabhu gave an example. If you're marrying your lover, you're not afraid of the marriage. If you're going to marry somebody you don't know, you'll be thinking, what's going to happen now? Who is this guy? Right? So similarly, when we understand Krishna, so we go back to the verse. Krishna says, Janma karma, you know me, my pastimes, my activities, then you don't take birth. Now, question will come. But the pastimes of Krishna is not mentioned in the Bhagavad-gītā, no? Bhagavad-gītā is a philosophical book, 700 verses. It is actually Gita Upanishad. Sarva Upanishado Gavo Dokta Gopala Nandana. So the Bhagavad-gītā, you imagine there are 108 Upanishads. The Upanishads are the explanation of the Vedas, essence of the Vedas. So this Upanishad, imagine, is a cow, big cow. All the Upanishads are like a cow. Dokta Gopala Nandana, the cowherd boy who milks the cow is Krishna. Partha Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta. And when Krishna is milking the cow, the milk is going to Partha, Arjuna. He's drinking there. Duktam Gita Amritam Mahat. And all the other devotees who are reading these are also benefiting. So if you imagine a cow, the cow produces so much of milk, right? The milk is enough not only for the calf. Let's say he has two calves. If the calf drink too much milk also is not good. So the farmer, the cowherd man, he will give enough milk for the calf. The remaining milk is given to all of us. So similarly, Krishna is speaking Bhagavad-gītā and giving the milk to the calf called Arjuna, but the remainder milk is given to us. So this is how we get benefit by the milk, the essence of the Gita. It's an Upanishad. And it contains everything that you have to know about life and how to attain success in the next life. But Krishna says, you know my pastimes and my activities, you will come back to me. Of course, Gita is also his pastimes. He's speaking, right? It's coming from Krishna's mouth. Gita sukita kartavyam kimanye sastra vistare ya swayam padmanabhasya mukha padma vinirshita. The Gita is coming from the mouth of the Lord. Just like the Ganga is coming from the feet of the Lord. When he was Vamana there, he kicked the universal covering. Ganga is coming, right? Similarly, the Gita is the Ganga which is coming from the mouth of Krishna. Just like Ganga is purifying you, anyone who comes into contact with Ganga gets clean of sins, punarjanma, all the sins are going. But if you hear the Ganga that is flowing from the mouth of Krishna, which is the Gita, it is even more powerful than even Ganga. Because to bathe in Ganga, it takes millions of lifetimes of, But just by hearing the Gita, drinking that nectar of the Gita, going into the ears, going into the heart, it cleanses your heart. But now what I want to say is, Bhagavad-gītā is a very philosophical discussion. It's not easy to understand. But in that same Bhagavad-gītā, Krishna is saying, you understand my pastimes. That means what? That means he's indirectly telling or directly telling, you must know the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Because the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the compilation, is the Nigama Kalpataro Galitam Phalamidam. See, this says here, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Puranam Amalam. Yes, fine. Sorry, what is it? Nigama Kalpataro 1-3. Yeah, sorry. 113, yes. So it says here, Nigama Kalpataro Galitam Phalam Sukamukad Amritam Dravyam Samyuktam Pipata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Muhuraho Rasika Bhuvi Bhavukaha. O expert and thoughtful man, relish Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the mature fruit of the desired tree of Vedic literatures. It is emanated from the lips of Sri Sukadeva. So the Bhagavatam is the most mature tree, a fruit. There are so many fruits, right, in the tree. Some may be ripe, some not ripe. But the best part of the tree is the most ripe fruit. Everybody wants the fruit of the tree, right? So imagine the Vedas as the tree. So many leaves, so many branches, so many parts. But among the entire Vedas, the best is the Bhagavatam, because it's the fruit. And it is emanated from the lips of Sri Sukadev Goswami. Therefore, this fruit has become even more tasteful. Because Sri Sukadev Goswami is hearing the Bhagavatam from his father, Vyasadeva, and he's repeating to us. He's repeating to Parikshit. And that becomes so relishable just by studying the Leelas of Krishna in Bhagavatam. And although it's nectarian juice, was already relishable for all, including liberated soul. Even those who are after mukti, they are interested in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So basically, what Krishna is trying to say also in this Janma Karma Chame Divyam, this verse, that you study about me in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Of course, we cannot just take the book and just study like that. You won't understand. You must develop bhakti through the guidance of the spiritual master. Which is why Krishna says to Arjuna, he says, you approach the Guru, tad vidhi pranipartena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva-dharshina. Just try to learn the truth by approaching the spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively, render service unto him. Self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. You must go to a person who has seen the truth. If you yourself try to speculate and read, you know what will happen? You will come to the chapter of Rasa Leela, then you will think Krishna is like a normal man having girlfriends. This is not ordinary topic. Very, very confidential topics. So we need to take shelter of the spiritual master. And the entry into the Bhagavatam comes by understanding the Bhagavad-gītā first. So everybody here should buy the Bhagavad-gītā. Prabhupada has given an excellent translation and explanation. Study the Gita and then inquire from the devotees, come for the classes. Then after that, come for the Bhagavatam. And when you have knowledge of the Bhagavatam, then you will be in complete, happiness. You will not have to come back again to suffer in this material world because of simple, very, very simple, just by hearing, giving. Because Kaluga, very difficult to go back, very difficult. We have very short life. Manda sumanda matayo, manda bhagya. Our life is very short. We only have a memory of 8 seconds only. Why? Because of the social media. Scrolling. Because you are scrolling. Actually, we think about it 10 years ago, we are not doing this so much. Now you go and see your IQ would have dropped so much actually. Because you are so dependent on the phone and scrolling. And now the children are born like that. When we were born, we did not have a phone. It came around 2009 only. This new technology, right? So people are getting even more dumb and dumb. You're not using your brain at all. So in this situation, Krishna has given a very simple method. You just hear about me. You just chant about me. Just remember me. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. Right? So the next point is, you have to hear Bhagavatam through the Guru. Then you can understand. You must hear it with a mood of surrender. You must have bhakti. So I would like to explain one story regarding this point, which appears in the Uttarakanda Padma Puran. So the glories. So before we understand something, we must know what is the benefit, right? I made a video at the time. I said knowledge is equal to desire. You know what that means? Knowledge is equal to desire. What does it mean? That means the amount of knowledge we have on something, it will make the desire to do that thing. Correct? If I have knowledge of being an IT engineer, then I will have desire. Let's try to find a job in the IT field. Correct? Similarly, in the recent years, there are many desire to go to space. They want to do rocket and all this. Why? Because the knowledge of the rockets and all has increased. So we are not interested in our spiritual life because we do not have knowledge about it at all. Unless you got knowledge, how you will take action, no? The action can come first, the desire can come. Before that, there has to be some knowledge about it. If I want to start a business, I don't know anything, how would I simply start? I have to take some course, right? Gain some knowledge, how to do it. Then I can try out. Similarly, nobody here gives time to learn the knowledge of the Gita. And because we are not learning about these books, we have no interest in spiritual life. But do you know that this knowledge is the greatest benefit for your life? We have forgotten. We are searching for benefits for the body. We are not searching for benefits of the Atma. And because we are searching for benefits of the body, we are committing so much of papa, sin. Because I want to satisfy my senses, I will do anything. It doesn't matter my neighbor is suffering, who is suffering, I must be happy. This is what happening in the world, no? And so much of sins you accumulate, to burn that sins you take birth again. But if you know here that you are Atma and you have to go to Krishna, the Paramatma, Atma will not desire anything which is bad, right? Atma will only desire something which is beneficial for him, which is to serve the Supreme Paramatma, Krishna. So the knowledge is the first step. So everybody must spend time. Prabhupada said at least 1 hour a day. If you cannot even 1 hour, half an hour a day, read the books. Read the books and gain the knowledge. Then you will see, your desire to become a devotee, a better devotee will come. Nobody needs to tell you, Prabhu, please take initiation. You will come and ask, can I take Diksha? Because your knowledge increase, right? You understand? You yourself will be motivated. So you must somehow or other force yourself to always embrace the knowledge given. So now, what I'm going to tell you the story is about the benefits, glories of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. By knowing the glories first, then we know, oh, this is the benefit. Why not I try? Why not I try to read? I'm not telling you to read Bhagavatam, but start with Bhagavad-gītā. But I just wanted to narrate this story from the Padma Puran, which happens many thousands of years ago. So what happened? This was happening. Narada Muni, one day he was very sad. He's feeling very depressed. So, do you think Narada Muni will ever get depressed? He's chanting Narayana, Narayana every second. How will he be depressed? Any idea why he will be depressed? Anybody? So Narada Muni is never depressed because he's always chanting the name of Narayana, right? But he's depressed because Naivo Dvije Paradhuratta Vaitaranya Stat Virya Ghayana Mahamrita Makna Chitta Sochetato Vimukha Chetasa Indriyartha Maya Sukha Bharam Udvato Vimudhan. He says, this is spoken by Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj says, oh, he's talking to Narasimhadev. Oh, best of great personalities, I am not at all afraid of material existence. For wherever I stay, I am fully absorbed in the thoughts of your glories and activities. So who is Prahlad Maharaj? Disciple of Narada Muni. If Prahlad Maharaj himself is very happy all the time, Prahlad means what? Prahlada, many very, very happy. Always happy. So he is always happy. Then how come his guru will be unhappy? So he says, my concern is only for the fools and rascals who are making elaborate plans for material happiness and maintaining their family, society, countries. I am simply concerned with love for them. This is called paradukka dukki. Devotee is not unhappy, but he is unhappy seeing other people unhappy. He's thinking how I can help them, how I can save them. Yeah? So we are all suffering like that. Similarly, Narada Muni, at one point in time, he was very unhappy. Why? And he was sitting by the river, somewhere in the Badrika Ashrama. Then he met with the four Kumaras. Four Kumaras, the sons of Brahma, Manasa Putra. They are like 5 years old boys, children, without any clothes. But they are millions of years old. So they were coming, and then they saw their brother Narada Muni. Narada Muni also brother, no? So he said, Narada, why you are not feeling happy? What's happening? He said, yeah, I'm not happy because I was traveling and then I came to Vrindavan. Along the Yamuna river, I saw one woman who is very young. She's very beautiful. And then she's there and she's crying. And 2 other men are lying on the ground and they are also crying. And these 2 men are old men. So Narada Muni approached them and said, who are this? Who are you? Why you are crying? Who are these old men here? Then she said, this old man is my son, 2 sons. Then he said, but you are so young, how come they are so old? Then she said, I am actually Bhakti Devi. She's Bhakti herself. And these my sons, Jnana, Vairagya. Jnana means knowledge. Vairagya means detachment. Yeah? So these are my sons. So you must understand the son of Bhakti is Jnana and Vairagya. Many people are after detachment. I will detach. I want to give up everything. I want to have knowledge. But if you have Bhakti, these 2 is automatically included. You see, when you have, Krishna is talking about karma yoga, jnana yoga, hatha yoga, right? This karma yoga, jnana yoga, hatha yoga, these are supplementary subjects. Just like when you go to school, no? You have a main subject. You also have maybe a few elective subjects. These are side subjects, but the main subject is more important than these three. Correct? So similarly, when you must understand, if you become an expert in jnana or even hatha yoga, it's no use because you have not passed the main subject. But if you have bhakti, these two are all included. So if you see this verse, Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janayati Asu Vairagyam Jnanam Chat Chayat Aitukam. So he says that by rendering devotional service to personality Godhead, Sri Krishna, one immediately acquires causeless knowledge and detachment from the world. You see, if you take the book and say, no, today I'm going to understand Krishna, I'm going to read, I'm going to understand. You're not going to understand. But if you render service, you come to temple, do service, you do so much service for Krishna, and you start reading the book, suddenly you see you can understand. Why? Because bhakti is the train. It is carrying the carriages. The jnana and all this karma and all are different carriages. But the train, the bhakti is pushing forward. If bhakti is not there, you won't get. And what is the point of having detachment without bhakti? Right? Imagine now you're telling, I have to detach from this, I have to detach from that, I cannot. So Prahlad Prabhu, he was telling in one of the class, he said that now if a wife, she is married to husband, correct? So does she need to tell, I will detach from that guy, I will detach to this guy? She no need to tell because she's already attached to her husband. She's automatically not going to care about any guy. Right? Because her attachment is to the husband. Similarly, when you get bhakti and attachment to Krishna, then you are detached from everything else. You need to go and say, no, I am detaching from this, I am detaching from that. No need. This is called Bhog and Tyag. Bhoga and Tyaga. Bhoga and Tyaga Dharma, Prabhupada said. Bhoga means I want to enjoy. The karmis, they want to enjoy. I want to enjoy. And Tyaga means I don't want to enjoy. I want to give up everything. I want mukti. I want liberation. So we are taking birth every time like that. In one lifetime, you are enjoying. Next lifetime, we say, I am enjoyed so much. I better renounce, give up everything, become sannyasi. A lot of sannyasi there. Go to Brahman, sit down there. So this is just one side of the coin, another side of the coin. One life you are saying this is nonsense. One life you want to enjoy. But the real point is the Bhog and Tyag should be given to Krishna. You understand? Let me make this more clear. You see, Krishna had many devotees, right? Some devotees are in the Bhog level, like Yudhishthira, great king. He's enjoying, he has wealth. Some devotees are like Prahlad Maharaj, also king. Yeah? Ambarish Maharaj, correct? Prataparutra Maharaj, Prataparutra, Orissa king. All wealth he has. But he's enjoying not for his purpose. He's enjoying. Krishna is giving me the wealth. Okay, I am using that wealth to serve Krishna. I'm not a bogi. I'm enjoying. If Krishna wants me to serve him as a king, I'll be a king. No problem. Which is why Krishna was angry with Yudhishthira, because Yudhishthira was saying, I don't want to, after fighting the war, Yudhishthira said, I don't want to fight, I want to go back to forest. Krishna said, you don't do that. You satisfy me. That is the real dharma. Bhog dharma is no use. Tyag dharma also no use. So Yudhishthira was trying to be a tyagi now. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madan. So you see, Yudhishthira was trying to renounce everything and become tyagi. But Krishna says no. So your attachment should be having Krishna in the central point. And there are also other devotees who are tyagi. Who is that? Like Rupa Goswami, Six Goswami, Sanatan Goswami. They had $0, nothing. They were serving Krishna in poverty. They were not worried that they had no money. So what is the example here is that they were only interested in serving Krishna. They were not interested to be a bogi or tyagi. If Krishna wants me to serve him as a person with no money and be a renunciant sannyasi, I will serve him that way. If Krishna wants me to serve him as a king, I will serve him that way. Understand? This is the point of vairagya, detachment. The detachment is not based on their mind. The detachment is based on what Krishna. Actually, they are always detached. Even as a king, they were detached. Prahlad Maharaj, he was a great king, but he was not attached to enjoying his senses. He was attached to serving the Lord only. So similarly, the sons of bhakti are what I was saying. The sons of bhakti is jnana and vairagya. So the point I was making is, if you become a devotee, if you take up bhakti, automatically the jnana and vairagya is there. You understand? So then now Narada Muni is speaking to her, and she's saying to him, why am I... Narada Muni asked this question, how come you are now looking young, your sons are looking so old, what happened? So she spoke this verse. I'll read the verse from the Padma Puran, because we don't have it in the... she says, Aham bhaktir iti khyata utpanna dravide saham vriddhim karnatake gataha. So she says, I was born in Dravida. So the bhakti movement started in the south, south of India. She said Dravida, so Tamil Nadu area. But if you look at the situation of Tamil Nadu now, they are against Sanatan Dharma. Right? And bhakti is saying, I was born there. I am coming from there. And these people are not interested in. You see how much Kaluga has degraded. So she says, I was born in Dravida, then I grew up in Karnataka, Kochit Maharashtra, Gujarate, Jirnatam Gata. Then I went to Maharashtra. I got older in Maharashtra, and in Gujarat I became completely old. Then Vrindavanam Puna Prapya Naivena Surupini. When I came to Vrindavan, Jataham Yuvati Samyak, she became young. Because bhakti gets nourished in Vrindavan. Vrindavan is a land of bhakti. You see? So Vrindavan is the natural place where we are. If you see this sloka, Vrajavasi lokere Krishna sahaja priti, Gopalera sahaja priti Vrajavasi prati. The ideal place to execute Krishna consciousness is Vrajabhumi of Vrindavan, where people are naturally inclined to love Krishna, and Krishna is naturally inclined to love them. Among all the pastimes Krishna had, the most pure love can be seen in Vrindavan. They had zero idea that Krishna is God also. And they did not care he's God. They want to just serve him. They want to love him. Mother Yasoda is punishing Krishna because Krishna is not eating his food. Krishna, she was not interested that this is Vishnu, I should worship him. No. Complete in love. So this is Vrindavan. So when Bhakti Devi said, I came to Vrindavan, I got completely nourished. I became young again. You also notice, when you go pilgrimage, when you go to Vrindavan, when you come back, you feel more charged up. Right? But my two sons, they are not, because Jnana and Vairagya is not so important compared to Bhakti in Vrindavan. Right? So Narada Muni says, your two sons are still old men because people are not interested in them. The reason why you became old also, because when people are not consuming you, you become invalid. Right? Let's say you have a clothes. Of course, I'm not giving an example for Bhakti. Let's say you have a clothes you don't use for a long time, it becomes old, right? I mean, you put in the cupboard, it kind of smell comes, right? So anyway, people, why is not like that? Narada Muni starts to speak about the symptoms of Kali Yuga, because Kali Yuga has started. Krishna has gone back to Goloka, and because Krishna has gone, Kali Yuga has come in. You see this verse. Yasmin Krishna divyam yatas tasmin eva tadahani pratipanam Kali Yugam iti prahur pura vidaha. Those who scientifically understand the past declare that on the very day that Lord Krishna departed for the spiritual world, the influence of Kali began. So in Kali Yuga, everybody is Manda, Sumanda, Matayo, Manda Bhagya, always fighting, quarreling, hypocrisy, They will tell one thing, they will do another thing behind. You can see in the politics. In front, they will tell you one thing, behind, they will screw you. And for 5 years, you will suffer. They will tax you like crazy. Every transaction is with duplicity. Nobody is truthful. Everybody is lying. Everybody is out there to get you. You are also doing the same to others, actually. There is no mercy. There is no austerity. There is no truthfulness. There is no cleanliness. There's no tapasya. There's no saucham. Dharma is no more there. So because the Kaluga is just getting worse and worse, and people are just killing each other, murdering each other, just for some 10-cent coin. If you see the news, you can understand how it is. So Narada Muni says, because of Kali Yuga is coming, your sons are still old. You got saved because of Vrindavan. So then she said, okay, then what I should do? How do you save my son? Firstly, to even see you, it's a very great blessing for me. Because you are the person who gives bhakti to others. Nara means what? Narada. Nara means Narayana. The one who gives Narayana to others, Narada, he delivers Narayana. Of course, he's not delivering like somebody is delivering like Shopee, Lazada, they come and deliver to your house. Not like that. He is delivering you like a bhakti, with love, with devotion. He's teaching you devotion. That is Narada. So Narada Muni gave this story, she told this is happening. And Narada Muni also says one more thing. Narada Muni says, you were actually in the spiritual world. And Lord Krishna told you, Lord Krishna created you as bhakti. And he said, go to the earth and nourish all my devotees. Right? Bhakti is not there, we don't feel nourished. Imagine we have no nourishment, we'll feel very not happy, right? So this Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, there's 9 processes of bhakti. Why? Because if you keep doing this, then our bhakti gets nourished. So we must always surrender to Bhakti Devi. Take her shelter, please, of course through the spiritual master, please give me nourishment that I don't forget you. Because when nourishment goes down, you will start to find nourishment in material activities. You want to enjoy, your senses. Because, I'm not feeling happy in the temple, I'm not getting happy. And the same chanting, the same thing they're telling. I have to cut vegetable, I have to sweep the floor. But if you understand the knowledge, you will understand how this is nourishing you. So when Bhakti was created, she's not created, she's always there. So Narayana told, you go and nourish my devotees. And when Bhakti came to earth, she came with her 2 sons, Jnana, Vairagya, and the servants. You know who the servant of Bhakti is? Mukti. All of us are trying, Mukti. But Mukti is a servant of Bhakti. If you do Bhakti, Mukti will follow. Bilva Mangal Thakur said this. He said, if Mukti Lanjali Sevate Asmin, if I do Bhakti on the doorsteps, Mukti is waiting. Please, sir, please come, I will take you back. So we as devotees, we don't need to do Bhakti separately, like all these Mayavadis. These yogis, they want to meditate and said, they want to go to the light. We are not interested to go to light. In fact, we are saying, Mama Janmani Janmaneshware Bhavatar Bhakti Rai Tuki Tohi. We want to take birth again and again and again so that we can serve Krishna. We don't bother about liberation also. Because the taste of Bhakti is even greater than Mukti. You must understand this point. We are not against Mukti. We want the highest. And we are telling others, you are going after Mukti. You come to Bhakti, you will get even higher happiness. Because in Mukti, your existence is no more. What happiness you will get in the light? Nothing to do, So similarly, Narada Muni says Mukti also was there. So Satya Yuga, she was there. So when Dwapara Yuga, until Dwapara Yuga, when Kali Yuga came, Mukti ran away. Mukti said, nobody is interested in me, I'll go away. But if somebody is interested in Bhakti, I will come. I'll come to help them. I'll come to take them. You understand? So Narada Muni gave, because Narada Muni has a vision of her past. And he told like this. So now she said, can you help me now? How do I come out of this? Please save me. Please save my sons. Then Narada Muni said, okay, I will tell you what. He started to chant some slokas. He started to chant the Vedas. He started to chant Upanishads. Even Bhagavad-gītā he chanted. to the two old men, Jnana Vairagya. Nothing happened. They were still, and he was surprised, what is going on? How come they are not being saved? Even though I chanted Vedas, how? And he was feeling depressed now. He's going everywhere, asking everybody what to do. So many people are telling so many things. You try this, you try that. He went to Pushkara, he went to Sri Ranga, he went to Setu Bandhan. All holy place he went to find knowledge. Still nobody could give any answer. Finally, he met the four Kumaras. And he told the four Kumaras, you please tell me what to do. You're more senior than me. You're very experienced in bhakti. Tell us what to do. Then, you know what the Kumara says? Kumara says, you organize a Bhagavad Katha. You call everybody in the universe, come to this place in Badri. And all the sages, rishis, and ask them bhakti, jnana and vairagya, come and sit down. And you recite the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And then you see what happens. So he organized. He was a very great manager and organizer also. Not just chanting. He had to call everybody in the universe to come. And then give them sitting place, everything taken care. So everybody came. And then the Bhagavad recitation began. And by hearing the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, immediately jnana and vairagya became normal. They became youthful again. And bhakti herself even became even more happier, more joyful. So you see, Krishna says, you go after bhakti. You only with bhakti you will come to me. But here bhakti is going after who? Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. That's why they said, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam amalam puranam. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Puranam Amalam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam. It is the topmost Purana. It is the most dearest to the Vaishnavas. All Vaishnavas will recite the Bhagavatam, hear the Bhagavatam, repeat the Bhagavatam. Yasmin Paramahamsyanam Ekam Amalam Jnanam Param Giyate Tatra Jnana Vairagya Bhakti Sahitam. So you see, Jnana Vairagya Bhakti Sahitam. It is not just sentimental bhakti. It is bhakti based on jnana and vairagya, detachment and knowledge. Not just, oh, let's read about Krishna Rasa Leela and enjoy it, like Krishna. That is not bhakti at all. Naishkaramyam avishritam takshinvan shupatan vicharana paro bhaktya vimuchayan naraha. So he says that Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the spotless Purana. It is most dear to the Vaishnavas because it describes the pure and supreme knowledge of the Paramahamsas. And Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is not only the description of Krishna, but also of his pure devotees. Like you see, there's Durva Charitra, there's Prahlad Charitra, one full chapter, 7 canto of Prahlad Maharaj, right? Studying the life of Prahlad Maharaj. This Bhagavatam reveals the means for becoming free from all material work together with the process of transcendental knowledge, renunciation and devotion. So it gives you the process of transcendental knowledge and it helps you to be detached. So anyone who seriously tries to understand Bhagavatam, so listen to this point, who properly hears and chants it with devotion becomes completely liberated. This is what you get. You seriously put an attempt to hear, to read. Of course, I'm not telling you new people to immediately read Bhagavatam. Read Bhagavad-gītā. Read Krishna book. Prabhupada actually wrote the Krishna book because he was thinking, what if he passes away? What if he attends, goes back to Godhead before finishing Bhagavatam? So let me just finish the Krishna book. This Krishna book is talking about the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam. So you put your effort to hear about this, chant with devotion, and then you will become completely liberated. This is the best investment you can do for your life. More than any other investment that you're doing now. This is the best investment of time and it's free. We have so much time, 24 hours. Put that time to read. Put that time to hear. And chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And if you're not chanting, chant. Then this will save you at the time of death. Because at the time of death, you know what will happen? You cannot even hear anything. You cannot even smell anything. You cannot even speak anything. Senses are not working. But if you keep practicing this every day, the impression will sit in your mind. Krishna's lotus feet will be there in the mind. He says, Krishna says, Pravishta Karanarandrena Swanam Bhavo Saroruham. So when you Pravishta Karanarandrena, Karana means ears, right? When you hear the Bhagavatam, it enters into the ears. Karanarandrena Swanam Bhava Saroruham. In the lotus of your heart, Krishna, the Katha goes in and sits there. Krishna is sitting in the throne of your heart. Dunoti Samalam Krishna. And Krishna is what he's doing. The Amala, the dirtiness, the unclean, the Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Matsarya. Krishna is cleansing them. You cannot cleanse yourself. You cannot take some detergent and clean inside your heart. That detergent is Krishna Katha. Salilasya Yata Sarat. So he says that, like autumn season, no? In autumn season, it becomes very muddy, right? So it says here, let me read the translation. The Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the sound incarnation of Lord Krishna, the Supreme Soul, enters into the heart of the self-realized devotee, sits on the lotus flower of his loving relationship, and thus cleanses the dust of material association, such as lust, anger, and hankering. Thus it Salilasya Yata Sarat. Thus it acts as autumnal rains upon the pool of muddy water. So there's muddy water, but then the rain is coming, all the mud, let's say you have a cup, right, filled with dirt. And you on the tap, the water is going, the dirt is coming out. So that water is the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. You have to keep consuming it. All you have to do is put the effort and energy to do it. And once you get the taste, the rasa to do it, very easily you will come out of this. And not only, one of the shortcut method is, Krishna says, you repeat whatever you're hearing, you go and tell others. So I heard this story, share with others, speak to others, try to preach about Krishna. When the more you repeat about Krishna, the more you spread the knowledge, the more you become also convinced inside, right? When you repeat it to others, you must be convinced yourself. So that's why Prabhupada said the preaching is very important. Book distribution, reading my books, not only distributing books, read the books and distribute it. So, this is the story of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Let's see if there's any other points. So one last point, one last sloka before we stop. So the summary of what I'm trying to say is, you need to, if you're interested in bhakti,
Only 1/4.
Huh?
Only 1/4.
25, 144. Okay, so you see this sloka here. The meaning of Vedanta Sutra is present in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. The full purport of Mahabharata is also there. The commentary of Brahma Gayatri is also there, fully expanded with all Vedic knowledge. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is a supreme Purana. It was compiled by the Supreme Personality Godhead in his incarnation of Vyasadeva. There are 12 cantos, 335 chapters, 18,000 words. So everything is compact in one. Don't we want that shortcut? If there's something that if there's one thing that you have seen everything. Is there such a thing? If one thing you have heard everything. Is there such a thing in material life? No. If there's one thing that you taste, everything has tasted. No, like that. Everything you have to do separately. I have to do this, I have to do that. But when you hear about Krishna, about Supreme Brahman, Krishna, everything is seen, everything is heard, everything is experienced. All pleasures that you're searching for is all in this Bhagavatam. So take it seriously to make it a point to read every day, hear every day, hear Prabhupada lectures. Spend at least half an hour. The playlist is there in YouTube. Prabhupada Bhagavad-gītā classes, Bhagavatam classes. Every day go one by one. Today this class, next day this class. Have a discipline. After you hear, then spend some time reading. Then you will realize, even in your dreams you will see the Lord then. Yeah? Because the dreams, what we are having, is also how we are living our life now. The consciousness, what you are getting in the dream, you can see, you can judge your. So try to do this, because this is whatever I'm saying is ultimately for all of your benefit, including myself. I'm reminding myself by repeating this. Not only I am saying do this. I'm not perfect also. So I'm getting a chance to say this. So I'm also helping my own purification. So the final verse. This is how we should be like Kulashekar Alvar. You see what he's saying? Namami Narayana Pada Pankaja, Karomi Narayana Pujanam Sada, Vadami Narayana Nama Nirmalam, Smarami Narayana Tattvam Abhyayam. So what he's saying, very beautiful verse. At every moment, I bow down to the lotus feet of Narayana. Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakto Madhyajimam Namaskuru. He's doing this every time. This is the level. We have also learn how the pure devotees are doing this and try to follow their footsteps. I perform worship to Narayana. Pujaya, Pujaya. I recite the pure name of Narayana. He's always chanting. I reflect on the infallible truth. He's always smaranam. So all these 9 processes of bhakti he's doing. There's smaranam, there's kirtanam, there's pada sevanam, there's archanam. There's vandanam, right? Atmanima, everything he's doing. Gush, there's one verse he says, Gushyate, Gushyate Yashanagare. In the Dhyana sloka, he said, Gushyate Yashanagare Rangayatra Dine Dine, Tamaham Sirasavande Rajanam Kulashekaram. What is the meaning? Gushyate Yashanagare. In that kingdom of Raja Kulashekar, his kingdom was in the Kerala. There is a Gushyate Yashanagare Rangayatra Dine Dine. You know what the people do there? Of course, what they are doing is what the king is doing. King has set an example. So when Kulashekar Alvar, he wakes up, you know what he does? He is always remembering the Lord. He wakes up chanting Hari. When we wake up, what we are chanting? So it's good when we wake up, we remember the Lord. We remember the Guru Parampara. We bow down. Start our day like that. So he's always chanting when he wakes up the name of Hari. Rangayatra Dine Dine. So when his Kerala is here, Sri Rangam is here, no? He will look at the direction of Sri Rangam. He will take 4 steps. Why? Because he's always focusing in his mind. My destination is Sri Rangam. I want to go there. I want to serve the Lord. Of course, he's serving the Lord in his kingdom, but the aspiration to go to that holy dham, to completely surrender. Of course, in our Sampradaya, the direction is Vrindavan, right? Rangayatra Dine Dine, Tamaham Sirasavande, I bow down my head, Rajanam Kulashekaram, to that King Kulashekar. So this is a verse glorifying Kulashekar Alvar. And you can see how such a great devotee and how he was living his life, hearing the Bhagavatam, hearing the Ramayana. He's very attached to Ramayana, always hearing Ramayana. And finally, he surrendered his life completely to the lotus feet of the Lord with his daughter. So it's very important to study this, read this, if you read Mukunda Mala Stotra, all his prayers are there. You can understand how deep the devotion, the bhakti is for the Lord. So please take the first step. I mean, I'm giving you the big picture now, but take one day at a time. Take the step. Make the habit. Make a specific time. This time to this time, I'm going to chant. This time, I'm going to make sure I read. Whatever happens, I'm going to read. I'm going to study. Not only read, I'm going to study whatever I read. I'm going to write down the notes. I'm going to try to memorize the sloka. I'm going to try to repeat to the devotees' friends in the temple. So do like that. And of course, participate in the services. Okay, so it's getting late. We'll stop the class here. If there's any questions? Okay, so there's no question. We will end here.